Good morning. My name is Melindi, and this morning it is my privilege to bring us the word. So someone once said that if you want to know what drives a country, you should see what commercials they have on TV. So do you want to guess what our commercials are? Outsurance? It is. We have a lot of ads about insurance and investment opportunities. We have to protect what we have. We have to preserve what we have, just in case it runs out, to make sure we have enough for the future. Of course, we have a lot of ads for same-day deliveries, 24-hour couriers. We are a people that cannot wait. So it's no surprise then that the two biggest growing retail industries in our country is Fresh Stop, Engine Quick Shop, and ShopRite, Checker 6060. Because getting stuff tomorrow is so yesterday. We are captured. We are captured. We are captured in endless scrolling. This urgency inside of us to have the newest thing, the newest car, the latest sneaker, the newest trend, to get rid of our dated furniture and decor. Did you know that they say that denim jeans were originally made to last a lifetime? But that urgency in us to have the newest one has made that people buy up to 80 jeans in the time that the original quality one would have lasted them. Our urgency in our heart to be enough, and to have more. 'n onvergenoegdheid, 'n insatiable heart, impossible to satisfy. At the end of this journey of us in our 10 weeks, it was a bit more than 10 weeks, but our journey with the Decalogue, God's 10 words, the commandments, I want to take us back to that very first week where Pierre said, "Are you free and fully alive?" And this morning, I want us to look at the 10th commandment to maybe see if we are truly free or not. In Exodus 20, verse 17, it says, "You shall not covet your neighbor's house. You shall not covet your neighbor's wife, or his male servant, or his female servant, or his ox, or his donkey, or anything that is your neighbor's." Now, if you would take the 10 commandments and from the first to the last, and you fold it back on itself, you will see that the 10th commandment is directly linked to the first commandment. God is saying, if you would put me first, if I am most important, you will have no other God, then you will not covet. Now in Exodus 19, it was the first time that God spoke directly to the Israelites. Before that, He spoke through Moses and Aaron and telling them what to do. He said, "You shall do this, you shall eat that, you shall paint your doorpost." But this was the time when He directed them. And do you want to know what His first words was? It's in Exodus 19, verse 4. It says, "You yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt, and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. Now, if you obey me fully and keep my covenant, then out of all nations you will be my treasured possession. Although the whole earth is mine, you will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation." These are the words you are to speak to the Israelites. What a powerful scripture. God is saying, you saw what I did. I have obliterated your greatest enemy. I said that word wrong. You saw where I am. I carried you on eagle's wings. It's impossible to carry someone if you're not close to them. And God said, you saw where you are now. I brought you to myself. If you obey me fully and keep my covenant, you will be my treasured possession. You will be for me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. Before God gave his Decalogue, telling them what to do, I am first in your life, you shall only obey me. He told them who he is. He said, I did this for you. You can trust me. I carried you close. You can trust me. You are my treasured possession. You can trust me. Exodus 19 was the invitation, and Exodus 20 was the conditions of the covenant. Exodus 20 verse 1, God say, I am the Lord your God who brought you out of Egypt, out of the land of slavery. God is not repeating himself. He is informing them of their new position. You are no longer slaves. You are out of Egypt. Why was it important for them to know this? In Egypt, they lived in fear. They lived a lifestyle where they were never good enough. They could never work hard enough. The conditions changed the whole time. They were never certain of anything. They lived a lifestyle of self-preservation. They had to protect what they had. They had to fend for themselves. They had to look out for their families. They had to fight for what they needed. They lived in a world of limited resources. They never knew what they could have the next day, tomorrow. But God said, I brought you to myself. Instead of fear, I invite you to trust. Instead of self-preservation, I invite you to a kingdom of surrender. Instead of limited resources, I invite you to a kingdom of plenty. What God offers is a life of trust and abundance, a position of our hearts where we can be free and fully alive. But are we maybe captured with discontent hearts that leads to disillusionment with life and God? The last commandment, do not cover. If you paraphrase it, it says, do not look away from God to find what you need, supposed to get in him somewhere else. To look away from God is to step out of his kingdom. To look away is to move out of trust into a place of fear and self-preservation. We are stuck in a different form of slavery. The rat race, the rut, the ever-changing landscape telling us what we need because what we have is already so out of date. We live from a place that maybe our resources can run out. And therefore, I need to grab and hold on before someone else gets what I need or desire. Desire expresses a lack of contentment. Covet is to find pleasure in. Covetousness is the act of coveting. It's strong and often excessive desire for something that belongs to another person, especially material possessions. It's a sin that can lead to harmful actions and a loss of contentment. Now, I'm quite sure that none of us in this building has ever coveted. That's an old-fashioned Bible word. So ancient. No. We crave. We dwell on things. We have obsessions. We binge. When we crave, it means that our desire for something goes up, but our desire for God goes down. And I don't think we ever do it consciously. I've never thought, oh, I'm so disappointed in God. I can't even remember if he loves me. Let me just buy that thing to feel better. Oh, I forgot that I can find my rest in God. I'm going to binge the season and watch it until it's finished because I deserve rest. Oh, what if God forget to look after me tomorrow? I will just start worrying today. It's never like that. We just forget where we are. And that God brought me out of a land of slavery. Our lack of contentment has many bound in addictions. A continuous strive for more. There was this ad in the early 2000s. I love this ad. There was this guy that says, "Who says less is more? More is more." I love that. I think our sad reality is more is less. Because the more we have, the more we get, the more likely are we to be satisfied. No, the less likely are we to be satisfied. C.S. Lewis had this powerful quote. It says, "Our Lord finds our desires not too strong, but too weak. We are half-hearted creatures, fooling about with drink and sex and ambition when infinite joy is offered us. We are like an ignorant child who wants to go on making mud pies in the slum because he cannot imagine what is meant by the offer of a holiday at the sea. We are far too easily pleased." Our insatiable hearts make us desire instant gratification. We want everything now. Quick fixes. We don't enjoy the now anymore. We are in such a hurry to find the next thing that we are not prepared to wait for the real joy. This is the state of our coveting hearts. Coveting brings division. In James 3 verse 16 it says, "For where jealousy and selfish ambition exist, there will be disorder and every vile practice." When we have this desire to get the new thing, we cannot stop and appreciate God's goodness in other people's lives. We cannot stand still and see what He has already done for us. We cannot wait and trust for someone else for something I actually think I need more. We have an inability to enjoy and appreciate in our own lives and the lives of others. Coveting is dehumanizing. I do not care what others have to endure, lose, sacrifice, or need in order that I can get the thing that I desire. It's addictive. It overpromises and underdelivers. As soon as I have that new thing, I'm looking for the new thing because the joy is so little. Addictions can be any form of addiction, whether it's substances, to numb my overwhelming feeling a little, or to give me an up if I just feel a little down, to help me relax because I deserve it, or online shopping just to help me catch up a little with the Joneses, or the Somerset College parents, or the old money swesters, of net om seker te maak ek's die ding. Blindness for what we have. There's this psalm. David says in Psalm 73, verse 1 to 3, and I'm going to read it in the International Children's Bible because it said it's so beautiful. It says, "God is truly good to Israel, to those who have pure hearts. But I had almost stopped believing this truth. I had almost lost my faith. Because I was jealous of proud people, I saw the wicked doing well." We sometimes stumble here. We slip over our jealousy. We forget who God is. I have almost stopped believing that God is truly good. So how can I move out of the slavery of discontentment and the never enough mentality? How can I move out of a place of fear into a place of trust and contentment? The opposite of covetousness is contentment. In the first place, we can learn to live in the now. A few weeks back, I was watching Sadie and Sergio. Sadie has complete trust in Sergio. She looks at him and she feels safe. She copies him. She makes sure that she moves with him. He was standing up here and she was looking at all the people, probably feeling scared, and she looked back at him and she felt safe. She will get up on a wall and just jump in his arms because she knows he will catch her. Annika was about 3 years old. Annika's my daughter. When we went to a wedding, and she was mesmerized. She was looking at everything and she said, "When can I get married and how does it work?" And I explained it to her. I said something like, well, you find the person that you love most and then that you want to spend your whole life with, and then you get married. And she said, well, then I'm going to marry Daddy. I said, no, unfortunately, that's not going to work. I'm already married to him. He's my husband. She said, well, then I'm going to marry my brother, Ruan. She had the ability to be in the now. She was able to drink in everything in that moment. She was able to find joy in that feeling, and she never wanted to end. That's contentment. To be able to live here and now. Youth, you won't believe it. Just about 30 years ago, I know it's a lot, but 30 years ago, there was a time when if Christmas would fall on a Friday, it meant that shops will be closed for 3 days. Because Friday was Christmas Day, Saturday was a public holiday, and Sunday the shops weren't open. It was a time where we had to plan very well. It was a time where you had to learn to wait. It was a time when public holidays and weekends were for everybody. Everybody were allowed to rest because it wasn't for your convenience. It was a time where there were picnic tables under the trees on your way on a holiday, where you would stop and eat and have a coffee. And don't believe the lie that we don't stop because it's not safe. It's because we're in a rush. We have to see another thing, eat at another place, film content for our Insta stories. It was a time where you left your phone at home because it was fastened to the wall. But you could only be plugged in 2 weeks later because holidays were for living in the moment and fellowship with the people closest to you and to rest. How can we move back from the slavery of discontentment? The second thing is we testify who God is. Psalm 119 verse 36 says, "Incline my heart to your testimonies and not to selfish gain." We remember whose we are. God is truly good. I am the God who brought you out of Egypt. We remember what He says about us, what He did for us, how He came through for us, how He answered our prayers. We remind our fellow believers of that. We walk with people and say, "Can you remember what God did? I know you're worried now. Can you remember how He came through for you? Can you remember how we prayed for healing? Can you remember where your child was at and where he's now? Can you remember how you cried about your relationship with your teenager and how well it is going now? Can you remember?" And then the last thing, we remember where we are. Hebrews 13 verse 6 says, let your conduct be without covetousness. Be content with such things as you have, for he himself said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. Isn't that interesting? The counter for wanting to have things is that God is with you. It's like, I'm with you. You don't need anything else. It's about trust. You've seen what I did in Egypt, how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself. You remember that God is always with you. There's nothing you have to rush or need to have to feel better. You just need to be, because he is already with you. Your desire, your craving, your obsession just need to be for him. It's about trust. There's a well-known story of the Israelites in the desert. It's a story about meat and bread, but it's not about eating. It taught the Israelites about who God is and his provision, his heart for them. He wanted them to know who they entrust their lives to. So the Israelites were in the desert. It was about a month in. They were hungry. They were complaining. They said, oh, would we have died in Egypt? And God said, I'm going to give you meat in the evening and bread from heaven in the morning. And this is what the Lord commanded. And it's so interesting because it sounds so contradictory. It says, they're talking about the manna, gather of it, each one as much as you can eat. You shall each take an omer, according to the number of persons that each of you has in his tent. And the people of Israel did so. They gathered, some more, some less. But when they measured it with an omer, whoever gathered much had nothing left over, and whoever gathered little had no lack. Each of them gathered as much as they could eat. This is the provision that God gives us. He gives you exactly what you need. It looks different than the person next to you, but it's exactly the same. I will give you as much as you can eat, but it will be the same. Whoever had much had nothing left over, and whoever has little has no lack. I will give you enough for each day. And tomorrow, I will give you as much as you can eat. Enough for each day.